Hello ladies and sirs, welcome back to another video. Today we're doing another working contraptions video. Over the years I've made many different working contraptions throughout my creative world, which I'm going to share with all you ladies and sirs to take your own inspiration from or just build yourself. And from what I'm standing in front of today, I'm pretty sure it's safe to assume what I'm going to be covering. I'll show you how this contraption works. Start off by entering into the cab of the train, this is where the driver would sit. To get the train started, you've got to open up the boiler and enter the furnace and activate with a flint and steel or fire charge. As soon as you activate the fire, the whole thing comes to life. The whole thing comes to life with steam sound, smoke coming out from the funnels, as well as steam coming out from underneath the wheels. There is also a button to relieve steam pressure, and a lever for the whistle. We've also got a lever here to change gearing to backwards and forwards. To turn the train off, you just got to extinguish the fire. It isn't the most complex build in the world, but it's a nice aesthetic to go along with whatever build you may have. Well, let's go inside and see how this thing works. So obviously, since we're within the boiler of a train, there isn't much room to work with. Each part of the rest of this train is working with the same basic premise. So there's multiple chains of command blocks which are all detecting for fire right in the spot of the boiler, which will be activated. Each one runs off the basic premise, so in this one's case, it's constantly detecting for it, but when it detects the fire, it then allows for this one, which is going to be constantly detecting for a block of a pressed-in button right above the driver's seat. I believe this one is for the releasing of steam pressure. Runs into both of these, which are both the exact same command of playing sound lava extinguish, just to extend it out that bit longer. The command block here and here are both detecting for fire, which is the comparator when activated, will then start playing the particle cloud down near the wheel arches. So we then have these commands up here. This one is detecting for fire, which will then activate the crackling fire, like furnace sound for the boiler. This command here will constantly detect for a lever up on the roof, which is then going to play the flute sound for the whistle. Also, just behind these command blocks here, we've got this red block here, which is for the gearing system, which when that lever's turned on and off, it will activate the play sound iron door open, which has been pitched down. And when that is turned off, this will invert the torch, doing the opposite sound of the door opening, which gives a nice gearing sound effect. We then come forward to the front of the train, where we've got some more command blocks. This one is also detecting for fire, which when activated will play the lava extinguish sound to the whole area, which is basically the steam train being on. We then have both of these two command block things on both sides, both of them detecting for fire, and both of them also doing the cloud particle effect for underneath the front wheels. We then have this final little command block section, which is also detecting for fire. When activated, we'll set a lever up in there, which when deactivated will then also turn this, make it to an off position when not detecting the fire, which this will constantly be activating a particle command, which will activate the smoke coming out the funnel. There's also these final two command blocks in the coal tender at the back, which are also detecting for fire, which will play the steam sound, so it plays towards the back of the train too. So overall, it's a really simple build, and I feel like it gives a lot of character to a world. As a disclaimer, this contraption was built in 1.12.2, so this build may need a bit of updating in its commands if you want to use it in any versions 1.13 and above. Quick modification tip. So obviously, if you've seen some of my other contraptions, I have thought about making this thing move. So if you really want to add that to your own steam train, just add a command block constantly detecting for the fire in the thing, and then add a repeating command block which will come off that comparator, which will constantly clone this train 2 blocks ahead of itself, as well as within the region selecting the tracks, so it will build track as it goes. I really did want to make this thing moving, but ads didn't let me. So as always, I hope you found that video interesting, and you might have some inspiration to go do something very similar for yourself. So as always, ladies and sirs, ta-ra.